Hello, everyone. Welcome to 10 Minutes Astrology. Every week, Alejo and I will be here to help you to understand a little bit more astrology. Hello, Alejo. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm thinking I am actually pouring some herbal tea that I have prepared for myself
So
because I'm having
healthy.
some stomach issues. And actually, it makes me think of what we have to talk today.
Hey!
As usual, I
Because
didn't
we have the
prepare this, but as usual, something of the energy that we have to discuss gets manifested somehow.
definitely, definitely. So today we are talking about something who some Mars placement will really spend time to look after themselves.
Yeah, I would say, because it's Mars in Virgo.
Okay, let's kick off then. Mars in Virgo. So for the beginner, the one thing is very easy, or maybe not easy. But for me, when I teach my students, I will always thinking, I would say, when you interpret a planet and sign, first we think about the planet principle. Mars is our life force and is how we compete with each other, how we express ourselves. But I this in this theory, we are focused on success and failure. So, what kind of action help them to be more successful, and what kind of action maybe can cause some struggle in their life, especially the challenge when they're dealing with problem. And then so we switch to Virgo. Then we think about Virgo. What is quality of a Virgo? And it's a mutable sign and it's an Earth sign. Then we think about what's the key word of these two things. Then we can add it up together. So Alejo, could you tell us a little bit more about Mars in Virgo from the mutable and the Earth element?
So the idea of mutable Earth, I would say, is the idea of transforming, changing the Earth, so changing the manifested, changing what we can see, in order to make it work, to make it efficient. That's why some people relate Virgo with health. I think health is more, it's not just Virgo, I think it's something we have to look at the whole chart.
Mm.
But this idea of making things work, making things be more efficient, and I'm having this herbal tea, and that's why I thought the same thing, is the idea of healing your body to make it work better. So with Mars in Virgo, we would say that the drive, these people is driven to be effective. It's
Hmm.
driven to, and also it's driven to be of service. This idea that I will adapt my needs, I will adapt what I need to do, what I'm aiming to do, what I'm aiming to achieve, so that it's more functional to the context that I'm in. It's not just for me, it's also in service to others.
Hmm.
So I would say Mars in Virgo has this kind of very detailed approach to action. They will not, action is not manifested brutally or vastly
Hmm.
or in an uncontained manner, but on the opposite. Only what's necessary, it's done. Only what's purposeful, it's done. But we were talking about anger, actually,
Mm.
right? How,
Yeah.
how, how does Mars in Virgo deal with frustration?
Mm.
So I would say that Mars in Virgo might deal with frustration, trying to see how they can be better the next time. What is it that they can
Mm.
fix? What is it that they can change? What is it that they can adapt in order to make things work in a better way? So I
Mm.
would say there might be perhaps a harsh, self-critical attitude to Mars in Virgo when they lose,
Hmm.
but also there may be this kind of potentiality, this kind of drive to, okay, maybe next time I can do it better. This idea of being this idea of self-assessment, and from that growth, I would say.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And I think be realistic when we deal a challenge, be realistic is the common feature shared by the Earth element, Mars in Taurus, Mars in Capricorn, Mars in Virgo. So they are very they are very down to earth and they are very focused on how reality unfold. So when Mars in Virgo, like you say, when they get frustrated or something, even they will self criticize or something, but they still going to say, how could I improve? And that interesting keyword is like the adjustment. An adjustment is kind of a really beautiful keyword for the Virgo sign of Mars in Virgo. They kind of they can earn their success with their fine tune and adjust. That's why some people I don't know how about it in English word, but in the Chinese language word, some people for the popular astrology, they like to say Sun in Virgo, they like to be perfect. Or say not 100%, but they just keep adjusting, they keep evolving. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say Mars in Virgo also has this idea of humility. So because it's a mutable sign,
Yeah.
we have, I think in mutable signs, it's easier to see the light and the shadow of the sign. And when I'm
Uh,
saying shadow, I'm not saying the hidden part. I'm saying more than perhaps what is considered a negative or more challenging manifestation of the sign.
mm,
So I think in mutable signs we can see it more clearly than in other kinds of signs. I think it's because they're mutable, we can see both faces at the same time.
uh-huh.
So Virgo can have this sense of critical that people say that this sense of being
Mm-hmm.
trying to being perfectionist. So with this, when it's Mars, is a perfect action, trying to do everything in a perfect way. But actually, I think that's not really the essence of Virgo. I
Mm-hmm.
think
Yeah.
the essence of Virgo is the idea of humility. It's actually the opposite. It's like this quest for this self-critical nature and this quest to be practical, to be of service, has to do with feeling the most important thing is the context. I'm not the most important thing. And
Ah.
what is it that I can do to serve this greater context? What
Oh.
is it that I can do? And that's the door to Pisces, which is the opposite sign, right? What
Mm.
is it that I can do to be of greater service? So I think maybe Mars in Pisces, when it's very aware of itself in moments of failure, instead of becoming enraged, it may reach to this point in which it will say, "Well, this was all I could do. I did the
Mm-hmm.
best I could do. This was all I could do."
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise, the self-assessment will always be read as being self-critical and perfectionist, and never being content. And I think that's
Mm.
one possible side of Virgo. Maybe starts with that side. But as we grow and hopefully become more and more aware of ourselves, I would say Mars in Virgo is the Mars that can say, "This is all I can do. What I can do it's treasures. It's a treasure I
Mm.
offer to you, but it's all I can do. I cannot do more." So I think there can be actually great wisdom in Virgo, which is a sign
Beautiful.
that, yeah.
Will say beautiful. I really like this important message to Mars in Virgo. Should we look at a example
Yes, please.
for just like today we choose a very famous lady, Princess Diana. But I think she is for all around the world. People would know about this person. She's the mother of the Prince William and um, what is his name? Harry. And I think she has that kind of a great love to show everyone until the moment she passed away. And also I think she get a lot of focus on her because her iconic princess, beautiful and lovely image. I don't really know about her big life, but we know she kind of really want to service the world. She really
Yeah.
want to service the world. She really tried to like a and bring the kind of action to more people rather than higher up, untouchable.
Yes, exactly. This idea again of humility, the idea of being at service, which was quite a contradiction for the tradition of the crown in the UK.
Yeah.
It was more like, no, we are here to serve the people. They are not here to serve us. Or at least this is the public image. Of course, I don't know what was happening
Yes.
inside her, of course. But it's interesting also that in her chart, the Mars in Virgo is in the eighth house.
Yes.
It's the house of crisis and hidden affairs. And
Mm.
she was one of the first to visit hospitals where people had AIDS.
Yes.
So she was standing for uh, groups of society, groups of people in society that back then they were even today I think people who have AIDS are rejected. Back
Hmm.
then were even more rejected than
Yes.
today. And she was always standing. So this idea of facing what the eighth house, what society tries to hide, doesn't want to see
Mm.
because it brings taboo, because it's about things that we don't want to focus on. And
Yeah,
you know how in the past there was this idea that if you have AIDS, it's because you deserve it. What have you been doing, right? That you got AIDS.
yeah,
Even today, some people think that. Um, and I think she was more like, come on, why is that question even raised? She was more like, these people need help. How can we be of service to these people?
yes, indeed, indeed. I think it's a very beautiful say because I always remember that time when I was just finished my. I think I was still in high school, and then I heard first things I heard about AIDS and HIV, and people were freak out. Even me, I was like a totally freak out that time. And then I said, what does that mean? I never know that would have impact, in my life too. When I grow up and then has a relationship and everyone talk about this. And it's still kind of a taboo. You kind of worry to touch each other when people say, well, I'm positive. Then people were like, oh, I don't really want to have a relationship with you. Her brave was she visit them and she give them a hug. That time, people even wouldn't dare to shaking hand
Yeah.
with
They
people
thought you
who,
could get it from just touching a person. Yeah.
yes, yes, they are worried about, and this is about body. And as also, I think not only the eighth house, I think eighth house is very significant, but Mars is quite close to the Pluto. It's a kind of a double whammy. It's kind of a, you know, re-emphasize this, and opposite the Chiron to vulnerable people. I just find a quote because I try to find any quote we can help. It's very two interesting things I can say it is like one thing she say, anywhere I see suffering, that's where I
Ah,
want to be. Do what I can. You just say the word, do what I can. But no, you say that's better things I can do. But she said she want to do what she can. You know, that's a kind
wow,
of
amazing. Wow.
that's a beautiful. Another things, focus on health. I like this. Her quote. I think biggest disease the world suffered from this day and age is the disease of a people feel unloved.
Mhm. Yes.
That is very Virgo, and that is kind of a she encouraged people to love, to even 1 hour, even 1 minute, to show each other love. And I think the Mars is broadly kind of a square. Yeah, not really. Border square with Venus. But I think that is like she dealing with all those things, and also her unhappy marriage. We all know, but she dealing with a very Pluto Mars in Virgo way. She really didn't really say a lot of things.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is very interesting of a Mars in Virgo too.
Yeah. Yeah. This idea of being driven for service, I think it's so important.
Definitely, definitely. I think Mars in Virgo are very good about look after their health and keep their routine, and they are humble. They really want to service the world. That's their feature. That's their virtue. I think so. But I think I like what Alejo say. Just remember, you do all your best. Don't be so hard to yourself. I think Mars in Virgo usually beat themselves very hard. And that is what we really feel sorry for them.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for watching and listening 10 Minutes Astrology. Today we talk about the success and the failure of Mars in Virgo. Next week, we will switch to
Mars in Libra.
Mars in Libra. That'll be interesting discussion because this is a traditional sign where Mars detriment. Well, for the modern psychological astrology, was that everything could be really good and they have a both side. So that's a really Libra. Okay, see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.